This is our current running back room. JD mentioned a few of the guys in the room. So this is the running backs we have on the roster as of right now. So obviously I have it listed here by contract. So Pacheco, $1 million. LaMichael Pirine, $1 million. Keontae Ingram, who we picked up during the season from Arizona, $985,000. Deneric Prince, friend of the show, $950K. And then Hassan Hall, $795,000. I did a little bit of Hassan Hall research. He was a running back out of Louisville, and then he transferred to Georgia Tech. He's kind of bounced around the league. He was an undrafted guy in 2023. He went to play for the Browns, Cardinals, Giants, and then we just signed him back in, I think, February as a futures contract. So that's what we got right there. So JD, when you look at the RB room as constructor right now, do you think this is going to be the final running back room? B, what do you think is missing from this RB room?
Jet and CH. No, I'm just obviously, but I do believe I don't think it's going to be the end of our running back room, no doubt about it. Usually, you get some running back ends. You want to see what they're able to do during the offseason, okay? And if you get some flashes of some brilliance and, if a guy's tough and what he can do, obviously they've been doing some scouting on guys to see. But we know this is maybe some of the body work, getting guys in. Pacheco is our starter, clear guy. We know that's going to be our number one. Perrine and then Prince is 1 and 2, or 2 and 3. That's going to be 2 and 3 for us. I like Deneric Prince, like I said, because of his size. I think he brings a lot to the table. I think he learned with having those guys in the room. Probably taught him a whole lot. I'm almost excited to see what he can do. Hear some things, some buzz from him coming into this year. Okay, because if we don't sign CH back or McKinnon, I think Prince and Perrine, they could definitely do the job. I don't know too much about Hassan Hall. I know you said that he's like a journeyman so far, and hadn't been in the league that long. So that's if you get something out of him and he's able to show you something, yeah. Ingram, same thing. I'm more
excited about Ingram than Hassan Hall and Pirine, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Ingram, yeah. Look, I don't know too much about him. I don't, to be honest with you. So maybe you could tell me some things about Ingram, what you like about him, as opposed to me trying to, pull something out, because I don't know too much about him. I just know what I've seen from Prince, Pirine, and then Pacheco. Those guys, Ingram and Hall, I'm not really sure.
Ingram, he played a little bit with Arizona. It was kind of a surprise release when they released him during the season this past year. When the Cardinals cut him during the season. He got some burn with them. But I liked him from coming out of college. I think he was – I don't know if he was Mr. Texas coming out of high school. Obviously, the high school accolades. But he played for Texas, was a starter his last year there, then transferred to a USC. And I think he had 1,000 yards there. Had like 7 touchdowns in 2021. So there's that aspect of it. So out of college, he was awesome. He kind of can do it all. He can catch the ball in the backfield as well as run between the tackles.
Good size. He has pretty good measurables and stuff, or what?
Because I'm pretty sure he's a big dude, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Ghost Hunter says, yeah, Ingram has some upsides when he took over for Connor in Arizona. When Connor got hurt, he ran the ball really well. So I think I remember seeing this guy. I just didn't know who he was, but I do remember the guy coming in.
He's 6 foot, 221. He's a big kid.
Oh, okay.
It's big.
Okay. That's good size right there. Shoot.
Yeah, I'm going to his game log from this past year. I remember he stepped up for Connor when he went out. That's why it was such a shock, because they were high on him going into the season as far as being the backup to Connor. Mm-hmm. So it looks like against the Rams during the season this year, he took over 10 carries, 40 yards, 2 catches, 11 yards. Didn't play the next week. And then, he had some rough games, but this is a guy who was probably not thrusted to be the starting guy. So 10 carry for 40 yards. And then the next game after that, 2 carries, 9 yards. Next game after that against the Browns, albeit 9 carries, 8 yards, and then 2 carries, 2 yards. I think that's when he was released by the Cardinals. I don't think when I say I'm high on him, I don't think that him or P. Ryan are ever going to be a lead guy. I think we've seen a little bit. P. Ryan's been kind of bounced around at least since 2020, going from the Jets.
Right.
So like we haven't seen the only guy we haven't seen anything of besides the preseason stuff was Prince. That's the one I'm highest on as far as we don't know what we have from him yet. So and you talk about being with McKinnon, being with CH. He heard all that stuff. He was part of that committee this past offseason and training camp. So there's something there. I think with Prince, I at least want to see it, exploit that a little bit. Yeah, of course. I say we go get a veteran, and I'd say get a veteran and draft a running back in the 7th round or an undrafted guy. I mean, it's not. They say the reason why it was such a higher running back market free agency wise this year is because the running back draft is not that deep this year in this draft class. That's why you saw Pollard sign day one, Jacobs sign day one, and Aaron Jones sign right away because the teams know it's kind of bare as far as the running backs in this draft. You can always find gems. I mean, Pacheco wasn't supposed to be the guy. So yeah, I think we sign a vet. We'll get to free agents, but my thing, either you sign a vet, you draft a late guy, and then you have him battle it out for. I mean, we have a bunch of guys who can battle out for being the backup or being the 3rd down guy if we don't bring back McKinnon. So,
well, fits are very important. You got to fit in the system too, right? And so if you're getting the guy, you got to make sure he's able to do what you ask him to do, which could be another issue and a problem. So you said Ingram's only 24 years old. Those numbers didn't really, but it was Arizona, right? And we know, Connor was that joker right there can run the football. He's another one that tore up the league and end up getting hurt here and there. So competition, I always say competition is good. Okay, competition is always good. Can you get a running back later on? Sure. Okay, but he might just be another guy that you get to be on the bench. If you have a guy like Prince who's here, okay, P. Ryan, and you said Ingram here, I think those guys give you a shot, a legitimate battle for those things. And I think Prince, because we had him for 1 year, unless I haven't heard anything negative on Prince.
I think the one knock I remember during training camp was his pass blocking, but like we talk about that. There's starting running backs in the league who have that problem. Yeah,
shoot. Our guys have problems with it. CH and sometimes and it's look, like I said, you don't practice it anymore. You just don't. You're not. That's the problem with those things. And so how you expect a guy to be good if he never does it or he never practices it? So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, to be honest with you. But I know you said there's some free agent guys out here, okay, trying to get a guy in the draft later on. Is he going to be a gem or not? Is always, like I said, it's a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. Do you invest in the guys that you have in the room? Okay, that's the way I look at it. If you trust, we know Pacheco, we got that. Okay, he's our guy. All right. If Pacheco goes out, do you trust a Denarius Prince, okay, or P. Ryan, okay, or Ingram? That's the question. Can you trust these guys, right? I think you give them a legitimate shot to find out if you can. And I think you find a little bit of this out during the season, right? Maybe I just need to do a little bit more digging and find out what they're talking about Denarius Prince even more, okay? Because if it's just, the pass blocking, which we're going to do a whole lot of, you better get somebody who's going to be able to protect Patrick, PM15, one of these guys better make that their job. I don't care. You need to find yourself on a farm or something and go and blocking some bulls. All right. Try to do that. Okay. Become the best pass blocking running back that you possibly can. Okay. How to get you, look, Marcus, how to get you paid. Get you paid, man. To keep you in the league. If that's what you want to do. So you blocking a bull, maybe run 1 or 2 over. Hey, you never know what's going to happen with that. So
if that's what it takes.
That's what it takes. Hey, sometimes it takes unconventional things to do to train, all right, to make you who you want to be.
like
we see
Rocky chasing the rooster in Rocky Part 1.
Yeah, or he's running on the beach to with Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
rest in peace, my brother. Yes, sir. But things like that, you got to do some unconventional things. Go over to Russia and he's running in the snow and all. That's what you want to see. You want to see a guy. It's like, man, what is he doing back there, man? He's like, he's chasing bulls. He's running. What? Like, oh yeah, that needs to get to Kansas City. Somebody needs to talk about that guy immediately. Find out, right? So,
talking about that Prince, which was interesting, was that he came from Tulsa, didn't really catch the ball a lot at the backfield. Now I remember that was going into training camp. I was like, oh, can he be a receiver out of the backfield? And then that was what was getting him like all the pub right out the gate during training camp. Was him. I remember the guys were calling him rail because all he was doing is running rail routes. Yeah, and that's all he did. And he looked great doing that during training camp. And then I don't know what happened exactly during training camp. I think the pass blocking stuff and certain things happened, and then they got P. Ryan. P. Ryan superseded him by the time of that last preseason game. And again, it's not fair comparison. P. Ryan's a guy who's been in the league since 2020, so he's been around the block. He's already gotten regular season snaps with the Jets by the time he comes over here. So I mean, it was an unfair thing to kind of go with that, but. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see if we do draft another guy, if we sign another guy, let them all battle it out for a spot here. Because look, the contracts the running backs are getting isn't high anyway. So if we do sign a veteran, it's going to be a 1 year, $1 million deal or a vet min type deal anyway. So it's like, okay, what are we really wasting here by having them kind of compete for a spot like that? And if it is a youth thing, you keep, let's say you keep Pacheco. You keep Prince, and then you bring in a veteran guy. So you still have that young guy who's being groomed. And then you have the veteran guy who, if by chance Pacheco's out for a game, the veteran guy can start the game, and then he can be spelled by the young guy they're trying to groom. If it is,
yeah, 100%, 100%. I love that. To me, that train of thought, because I think that's what you should do. I really do. And like I said, having that influence with older guys around you at the time, I think at some point you got to be able to find your way. But it is something that Permarine, because he was able to go different places, he learned a lot. So it's like, hey, he's a veteran guy. He understands what he need to do. But you make no mistake about it. Okay, when a guy is in there, okay, and he's a reserve guy, he's got to do a very capable job. If it's making sure that PM15 is upright, you better be the daggone the best at it. You know what I mean? So I think Prince got big hands. Like you said, he was capable to catch the football. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Didn't they have him returning kicks during preseason too? And I think you and me were in agreement on that. We're like, I don't know if that's not the fast twitch guy I want back.
Straight ahead, man. Yeah, he's catching these straight ahead. Yeah.
He's fast as heck, but I don't know.
He ain't got that juke in him. Yeah, no, he ain't got the hips like that. JD, you think new hip tackle rules increases running back value? Not necessarily. I wouldn't say it will. I do believe, okay? I believe the owners got together and was going to have a cap on the running back market. That's what I believe, okay? Takes a little bit of collusion against the running backs. That's why I'm going to stay with it, all right? That's what I believe. And they just didn't want these guys getting paid a whole lot of money, especially, obviously, because you're running the ball 15 to 20 times, you get hurt, then what are we going to do, right? Especially when you start seeing Saquon and guys like that getting hurt. They was like, oh, shoot, we can't hand out these big deals to these running backs. It might get hurt. Well, Josh Jacobs goes, he blows it out the water, right? And he still didn't want to pay him. I think a guy that would have worked well with us, okay, obviously he's gone. We talked about Austin Eckler. I thought Austin Eckler was a guy that, would have did well. But he's more like a CEH kind of back type of guy. Catches the football, but I still didn't think he got his due over there with the Chargers. I think they lowballed him. But hey, you're only as valuable as somebody's willing to pay you, right? That's how it works. Man.
Yeah,
But
apparently they, I think he said a whole thing about how they came to him. They, let me see what he said. He said there was misalignment between his vision and what the team had in mind. The Chargers came to me and kind of told me that they were looking at in the running back position, and it wasn't what I can offer them as a player. There was a misalignment. Yeah, they are interested, but are you really? If all else fails, bring Austin back in type of thing, because I don't want to be in that scenario. If that's your philosophy and what you were telling me, and I don't fit that, I got to look somewhere else. So then he signs with the Commanders in the end.
yeah, that's they want to grow with him. They want to be married to the guy. Okay, it's almost like being in a relationship, right? So you got somebody you deal with, but you're on the other side of town messing with somebody, and your side piece is out here, and you keep going back and forth with them, and it's like, well, you don't want to commit to them; they got to go. So, hey, man, fine, stay with your side piece. If that's what it is, you want to be out on the market, you don't want to commit yourself to me, then I got to bounce. I got to go. Good for him for doing that. Okay, not being the side chick, not being the side piece. Yeah. All right, good for you.
Especially when you were the main thing in the first place, and all of a sudden, like, we might come to you. Just wait. We'll see how this other thing goes.
Yeah,
wait.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So
it's weird too, because it's a different regime, but it's the same kind of thing that happened with Tranquil. They kind of like, they wanted to pay him, but they're like, yeah, let's hold off on that. We don't want to pay you what you want. We'll pay you this. And they, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. They end up trading for Kendricks, and then Kendricks is gone a year later.
Dragging your feet. That's what happens. You're dragging your feet. Then when you see your old girlfriend or boyfriend, and they looking at you, like, yeah, I should have married her. Should have married him.
Yeah, I should have jumped on that.
Yeah, they know you gonna see them. They come out looking as good as ever, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, Drew Tranquil hits these jokers in the head, had about 15 tackles. So I hope he's San Diego or now Chargers, not San Diego anymore.
Yeah, you and I do the San Diego Oakland bits.
I know it. I know it.
Hey, that's how we grew up, man.
Still weird for me.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.